Welcome to Tinker Club. My name is Leigh-Anne Nugent, and I am here with.
Hello, Micah Adler.
So, welcome again. We are here to share what we've been tinkering with. And I want to show what I presented for the AI Showdown for Lovable. And Micah did a hackathon for Lovable on the weekend, and he had some good results. So, congratulations to you, Micah.
Thank you. Thank you. No, it was super exciting. And yeah, we actually placed within the three teams that placed. And then if we go to the next phase, then that would be amazing as well. Yeah.
Amazing. So, congratulations. When I signed up for the event, I signed up for the wrong city. So, I ended up canceling, obviously, because I can't get down to Austin for just for that day. And I ended up just doing a solo thing and submitted it on AI Showdown with Lovable. We'll see how that plays out. I don't know what happens with that. No idea, but I do have my app submission now. But yeah, that's it. So we'll see how that plays out. But I did want to walk through what I built on Saturday evening. Go ahead, Micah. What do you got? Do you want to show first?
Yeah, I can show really quickly what I did. I'm actually not going to show the one that we did in Lovable because it's still being, I think, judged. So
Yeah,
what I'm
we'll
going
save
to
that for next week.
Yeah, if it goes anywhere, even if it doesn't go anywhere, then I will show it next week for sure. But I did get the one that I created in Emergent, which is called Brew Buddy, to work. And
Hmm.
it's pretty cool now because I updated the way it looks. So I'm going to share it. So this is Brew Buddy. And
Oh,
isn't it
and you
nice?
used Emergent for it.
Yeah. So I think
Okay.
it's on emergent.sh. So basically, what it is a community and a place where you can find coffee shops and you can interact with people inside the community and you can rate the coffee shops and you can add information within any city. So, like, for example, these are just examples, the Daily Grind in Seattle. And then you can see that you can have like recent activity and it actually works, which is cool. So if you click here in shop, you can see the different coffee shops. And then within here, like there's a Fahrenheit coffee shop in Toronto. Don't know if you know what that is, but in here, the bean scene. So basically you can add this coffee shop. And the idea is to be able to add it just by clicking Google and then it will add it for you. So there's all these things that are already indexed in Google. So all you would need to do is that. And then you can add reviews. So these are just like test reviews for now, but it works and you can log in, which is cool. And there's a place where you can learn about different coffee. It broke here, but different types of coffee. And then there's a community. So you can talk to people inside the community. Just want to make it really super simple and then just work for everybody. But yeah, I've always wanted to have a coffee shop like everybody does. And the reality is, most people who actually start a bricks and mortar coffee shop fail miserably. So I'm de risking it by starting a coffee shop online. And then I don't spend a ton for the lease and hopefully provide a lot of great functionality for the users. So yeah,
Love
this is
that. Very
Brew
good.
Buddy. And then yeah, I will like the whole intention of these is to actually get it out in the wild and get people to use it. That will happen soon.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Congratulations. It looks great.
yeah. I know it really started to look better. I have some tricks, and it's prompting, but it's also like knowing what to start with.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad. Okay, so now we can exchange notes because I'll share what I built here for the AI Showdown. It is the Sabbatical Itinerary Builder. So I'll go to the homepage first. And the idea is I'm going on a sabbatical August 2026 to August 2027. And my husband and I are starting to really look at how are we going to shape our trip and where should we go and why should we go and what's the what's going to be the whole theme and nature of our sabbatical. So obviously, like anyone does, you go to ChatGPT and you ask it where you should go and what you should do. And because I've been using ChatGPT like a coach, it started to ask me questions about fulfillment and what are you looking to get out of it and what are your goals and what values are driving your sabbatical. And I thought, actually, this is a pretty good place to start. Just like with all of our consulting projects, we always start with what are your goals? What's your North Star? What are you looking to accomplish? So taking a little bit from my work experience and being an architect, how would you architect this big adventure? So yeah, we start with reflecting, and I thought it would be cool to leverage the lovable experience where you're interacting on the left hand side and your itinerary is building for you on the right hand side. So that was the inspiration here. And by default, if you've already created one, it'll show you what your trip looks like. And then you can have varying trips based off of whatever the different prompts are that you provide it. And then eventually you could compare and see what the difference is between the two. But if you wanted to create a new one, you would just every single time you interact with the chat, it will create a new one. So if I'm just going to say I want a year long luxury, ooh, that's actually a pretty cool itinerary. A few things that I'd like to talk to you and I debug this thing. I have explicit instructions stripping out the JSON. So as you saw, the JSON was writing, but then it stripped it out. But it's still showing it in the experience, and I didn't love that. But anyway, I couldn't suppress the message. But anyways, it did that, and it built the very, very first city. And so I'm debugging it right now because it didn't build all the stops and I'm having a mobile issue. So I was expecting all of the stops to be built out here. So now in my next thing, I have to just like copy paste this and just be like, please add the rest of these stops. Maybe I just won't paste them. Let's just see. Oh, see, it still thinks. So anyway, I have to clearly do some debugging here, but let me show you what that looks like. When you add more, right? It's thinking about all of this. And I integrated something called Mapbox, and Mapbox will give you this cool globe. Because I was like, where in the world is that? I can't really see where it is on the map, and where should I go next? Where is it in reference to? And maybe I want to do something nearby. Yeah,
Still
it's
thinking.
still writing. Yeah, it's still building it. So I'm looking for ways to simplify that experience now, but it will build it out for me. But yeah, it's interesting. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, I think you just have to go back and forth and tell it not to show what it's thinking. Because if you're using like, what is it? Yeah,
There you
so
go.
yeah, it's cool. It created them though. So that's
Yeah,
positive.
it did create them. And then the other piece that I was working on was the graphics. So it wanted me to sign up for Unsplash and do all of that. And I thought, I need this to just work for me. So now I'm just telling it to go grab it from Wikipedia, grab it from the thing. And the top things to do, I thought was a really cool way to help shape why do I want to go there. And then I have a vision here where you could develop this card and you can add more elements to it and maybe break this out. Where should I stay? And what if I wanted to stay in South Africa for instead of 2 weeks, 3 months? Things like that. I thought would be a pretty cool thing. Because here, this one actually is saying that we should stay in Kyoto for 2 months, which is what we wanted to do.
This would be an amazing trip. This would be like on my bucket list, everything that I've ever wanted to go to.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I would want to do is share this with your buddy, right? So whoever you're traveling with, and then you could collaborate on it. So I've got this whole thing of where I want to take this next. But yeah, first things first was build the itinerary. So one of the questions that I had for you was the UX UI. From a mobile app perspective, it changes the rendering to make it more like Instagram. So the cards are on top of each other.
Yeah.
I liked the idea of it flowing like this because it felt like a timeline. And so I thought it'd be cool to make it unfold like a map would. I don't know if I can do that yet, but I wanted this to be more interactive. But again, I'm thinking, what are the constraints and limitations of the UX UI and fold it up and just show me what like 2 months would look like. And then I had another use case of, okay, what I want to integrate this with Google multi-flight builder.
Uh-huh.
So you can actually build and book your flights based off of this itinerary.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, what are your thoughts on it?
So I think with the going left to right is good because of the timeline. What you can easily do is do the arrows. So
Mhm.
or swipe. So the arrows would definitely work. I've actually done that before. So,
Okay.
and if you wanted to get like really cool, then you would have to have the unfolding piece, but the arrows would definitely do it. So it would be side by side. In terms of the Google stuff, it's just getting the correct APIs and then making sure that you implement the integration with Google. And those are just getting the right ones. And there's so many different APIs in the Google ecosystem
Yeah.
that it is quite confusing. And you don't want to, for example, enable the wrong one where somebody would take that and do something with it. So that's like the difficulty in Google, but Google has everything. So then
Yeah.
so for my maps in my Brew Buddy, the maps have to be from Google, and then I can pull the recommendations as well. Because then,
Oh,
because then you
and
would,
Google reviews.
yeah, reviews. So everything is there. Just the question is, how do you do that safely without
Yeah.
exposing yourself to risk? And
Yeah.
yeah, that's the only biggest risk. I may like this is the one thing that is really good about going to hackathons and meeting all these people and like connecting with them is that you have a group that you can confide in terms of mitigating these types of risks that are a little bit technical and complicated. So
Right.
expand network, connect with more people, and then whatever, like for example, I could do, I would help them with what I think is good and helpful for them. And I've been
Yeah,
able to
that's the
do that.
best.
I've been able to do that with a couple of little individual startups and helping really quickly see what kind of governmental funding they could theoretically receive because I know that area pretty well. And it's not difficult for me to give somebody some information with the caveat that, this is not obviously a business connection that we're doing. I'm just providing you with some information and
Mhm.
where I got it from.
Yeah, and that's friendly.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it provides you with an in, and then, yeah, they can help you with the security issues.
that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really like it. Yeah, I would one time in my life like to go on a sabbatical.
Right. Yeah. So I thought, okay, this is, of course, I'm using ChatGPT to be like, I want to create a project that I'm really passionate about. And at first it was like, oh, do your Savoring the Journey program. And I'm like, yeah, what else? And it said, what about your sabbatical? So I said, yep, that's the one. Because again, we were just, what are all the steps that I'm doing? And it's the collaboration piece that I think I want to work on next. And then I think, how could I expand this into turning this into my journal? So this is what the plan was, and then flip the card to say what the actual was. And then if I could journal in there, that could be a cool way to
100%.
preserve it and become your travel. dossier or whatever it is.
Definitely.
So I think that there's a lot of potential here. Just, yeah, this is the core foundation piece. So I want this to be really solid.
Yeah, yeah. And it's going to be good for you for the future, and you can use it like when you become
Yeah,
a $500 billion company, you can go on a sabbatical. So
exactly. Right. So, anyways, that was the fun that we had. So let me stop presenting so we can wrap it up. Yeah. So I guess the point is, don't be afraid to tinker. There is a lot of tools out there to help you get started. If you have an idea, go out there and just see what AI can help you build. And yes, of course, there's going to be bumps along the way. For me personally, I'm trying to make this a mobile friendly application. And something happened when I had to revert yesterday my code because I made it mobile friendly. And all of a sudden, I just couldn't see it at all on the mobile. So I'm still debugging that. And there's for sure going to be issues you're going to bump into. But like Micah said, join a club, join our calls, and we can learn together and see what we can create.
100%.
All right. I think that's it for today. Thank you very much for signing in, and we'll talk later.